When the government says that they're trying to crack down on this kind of fake news on Twitter and trying to curb the spread of hateful content, as I said, if you look at the evidence, you look at what is going on, Twitter itself is coming out and saying that you are basically trying to stifle legitimate criticism. I mean, there is a freedom of speech, there is a right to criticize. These are posts critical of the government on the farmers' protest or whatever else it is. This is coming from that dimension as opposed to actually trying to crack down on hateful and insightful comment. And I've just listed, there are a series of instances where every time there's been something that makes the government uncomfortable as a kind of political criticism or criticism of the ruling party, criticism of the government, they crack down, but then they cite the cover of law and order or of trying to ensure a neutral internet.
Look, the problem is this is the new, fifth generation influence operation government is facing. And now it's very difficult to government to deal and detect with these attacks and deal with the existing laws. And Twitter is also right at some point of time, but at the onset, when the government sends a request to block these handles, at the onset it appears these are genuine political criticisms of a policy or a political party. But if you look carefully, and I have written multiple articles on it, there are think tanks across the world which have written articles on it, that this is how intelligence agencies across the world now operate, where they are using cyber as a mean for subversion and disinformation. And the best agency who has mastered this art of disinformation is not KGB or CIA, it's ISPR of Pakistan, where 4,500 professionals with a budget of 6,000 crores are working day and night to spread disinformation in India. Now you look at Delhi riots, you look at anti-CA propaganda, you look at 370. So now the problem is
I'm saying on what grounds?
Wait, just 1 minute. Yeah. Any sort of censorship for political criticism is wrong. But any sort of censorship or blocking of accounts of people who are operating across the border, masquerading and impersonating as Indian citizens is absolutely right. Now the problem
but I'm saying the government has supplied no proof. Hold on. You've spoken for it. The government has supplied no such proof that this is all coming from across the border. As I said, look at the bad faith actions of the government. That the Twitter flags a tweet by a BJP spokesperson as manipulated media. The special cell of Delhi police lands up in Twitter headquarters. I'm trying to say, this is not about, this doesn't seem to be about saying, oh, there's Pakistani misinformation or from...
Of course, there could be cases of high-handedness. There could be cases of high-handedness because what happens, you see, when you are looking at, more than, you could say 5 lakh accounts were tweeting against the government. Why only block 1,200 accounts? No, because those 1,200 accounts were run by ISPR. You ask any disinformation lab, they will prove. But none of these people have come for KYC. So when you deal with the coordinated disinformation, you take out a data set, obviously there will be errors. There will be 50, 60 odd genuine handles which might also be get tagged.